Well, hello racing fans, and a warm welcome to our Gallop Preview Show, and we are previewing Wednesday the 13th of August. We at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and I trust that you, the valued racing fan, is well, and hopefully it can turn out to be a lovely Wednesday for us at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. I'm just going to have a look at the betting menu. By the way, once I have a look at the betting menu, we have a new analyst for our Cape Town previews. That's Hollywoodbets Kenilworth and Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Once I go to the betting, maybe you can try and have a guess, you the valued racing fan, on who it is, but we'll reveal that shortly. So there are, 9 races on the go. Race number 1 begins at 12:10, and we should close things off at 16:55. Of course, the exotics are all on offer, but the big one will begin at 13:55. That's 5-2, which is the start of the pick 6, and it's race number 4. So now for that big reveal. Hold on, Lungs, not the picture up just yet. So I can tell you that he is a very popular pace down in the Western Cape, and he is a race caller and a presenter amongst all his other talents that he has. I am proud to say that he is a buyer of mine, a good friend and a colleague, and really nice to introduce him to you, the valued racing fan, to our Cape Town previews. And it's none other than Lungi. It's a drum roll. That is it. On cue. Brandon Brayley, welcome to the show.
Dees, thank you very much for that lovely introduction. We've obviously gotten to work very closely over the last couple of weeks and months with the big changes that have been happening in racing. Fantastic to be alongside you, Dees. I know that we share many laughs. We love the racing game. We're both sick for it. And we have to do our job and try and find winners for the punting public who are equally as sick as we are for the game. So thank you for that lovely introduction. Let's hope that we can find some winners on this, what looks to be a favourite card for the punters. I know the weather has been causing some havoc. That's completely out of our hands, buyer. But we'll just have to look for some of those horses that appreciate some of the softer underfoot conditions.
Well, I have no doubt that you'll bring tremendous value to the show with your ear firmly on the ground, and of course the form and replays and the commentary box and presenting, etc. Coupling that and putting that all together, it's no doubt going to be a successful partnership. So let's get into it, Brandon. Race number 1, 12:10, 10 past 12, and it's a maiden plate over 1,200 meters. We bring up the field, we'll have a look at some betting, and this is at the time of recording. Number 1, Zendai, a first timer for Justin Snate, is at 8-1. 3 is Sunshine Superman, that's trading at 9-2. Take note that Garrett Wright will be riding number 5 Spanish Verse. Then we have number 9, In Motion, at 8-1, which personally I think could be nice value for your exactors and trifectas, but we'll hear Brandon's thoughts. And then an odds-on shot to kick things off, number 10, Black Eagle, Vaughan Marshall, Sean Veal, for champion owners of last season, Hollywood Racing. That is shortened, Brandon, from 6-10. The punter said we'll have that. That's now trading at 5-10. So it's not part of the exotics, Brandon, but what is your suggestion here in race number 1?
Yeah, so Dees, I think the natural obvious selection for the punting public out there will be the favourites. Moved up, I actually called the race on that occasion, and it looked race over going through the last 200 meters. I'm talking about number 10, Black Eagle. Sean Veal opted to go quite early on him because he had the race experience. We know that there was a well-fancied horse in the race called Rocking and Rolling, who showed tremendous speed on that occasion and then just became one pace that last 150 meters or so. And it looked as if Black Eagle had the race in the bag, and then Blind Date out of nowhere came to fetch this individual. So he easily brings the best form into the race. I think he'll be very hard to beat. Just going back to Black Eagle, D's, well documented that leading up into that last race, there was a good 2 weeks or so that trainers couldn't work at Milnerton. So I think just that last bit, maybe that's where he started to feel the pinch. They've been able to squeeze in a bit more work. I'm of the opinion they've been able to squeeze in a bit more work now, and I think he'll take a power of beating number 10, Black Eagle. And then another horse that I've really kept a close eye on, and I said he'll run a big race next time out, is number 3, Sunshine Superman. He was all at sea first time out. He was a long way back going through the last 400 meters, and he caught the eye in a big way late. So I'd watch for big improvement from Sunshine Superman. But I'm all in on the favourite here, Dees. I think he'll take a power of beating.
Just a quick comment on this horse, 9 in Motion, because I just pulled out the form line, and it's arguably the strongest form line from these horses that have raced with 2 winners, 2 subsequent winners, but been off for 2 months and unfancied at 151 first up. I don't know the riding arrangement with Snate just yet. It's the start of the season, etc. But he's got 4 runners in the race. Will I be way off for swingers? 9?
Absolutely not, Dees. Rested and gelded. The forum, you'll be able to find, obviously, Justin Snaith. MJ Baileyfeld did catch up with Justin, and he was kind enough to run through all his runners. And he did mention that this horse is in a good place back at home. He would have come on leaps and bounds, I'm sure. I think the gelding would have done the trick with him, and we know that form line's deadly at the moment behind Late December. It was a very nice horse trained by Greg Enyon. I mean, if you run through it, African Memoirs come out to win. We know that Night Rain is held in high regard by Vaughan Marshall. He ran 3rd in that particular race. And even further down the page, I know he didn't win his next start out of that form line, but he's subsequently won in KZN, his Canal Skater. So strong form line, Dees. I think you could be onto something, some value, include him into the trifectas and quartets.
Okay, let's get into the first of the exotics. The bipod begins at 12:45, 1,200 meters, and it's a maiden plate. Bring up the field, have a look at some betting. We got number 3, day in, day out, 11-2, blinker strike. Number 6 is trading at 22-10, an ultra-consistent 4-year-old. What's it? 9 runs for 6 places and threatening to win. Then we have number 9, which is Prince Jasper, Andre Nell's runner. Okay debut, beaten 6 lengths, but at 9-2. And then there is some money here for number 10, Pump It Up, from 2-1. From 5-2 into 2-1, and that was. It was a good run first up, considering the barrier, the position the horse finished. But 6.5 lengths back is some way back. But obviously these horses are all going to be improving, Brandon. I don't know your thoughts here on how many horses you're going to be suggesting for the bipods, because they look like there are improvers in the race and some horses that are threatening to win, like horse number 6.
Yeah, so just listening to Justin Snaith regarding number 10, Pump It Up, you could read between the lines that he was of the opinion it's going to take a very smart horse to beat him tomorrow, being Wednesday. He ran a lovely race on debut. He was, again, very green in the early parts of the race. If you go back and watch the replay on the 15th of July, he caught the eye late. The 2 horses that had experience, obviously, in the race, being African Memoir and Night Rain, they 2 lovely individuals. I'm going to keep waxing lyrical about those 2 horses because they're going to be seen, I think, many times in the winner's enclosure through the summer. And this horse really caught the eye late, Pump It Up, Dees. You can only think that the 1,200-meter trip now, stepping up in trip's going to suit him. If they can navigate that draw, we know up the straight, I'm not sure how the track's going to be running. But if they do tend to angle towards the middle inside, he'll be just off the speed early, Dees. And he's got a tremendous turn of foot. And listening to Justin, he's confirmed that he's made the natural improvement back at home. So he's going to be very hard to beat here in race number 2. Then the other horse that I do want to chat about is Iko. He's not one for maximum faith. He's not one that I would be rushing off to go and put the rent money on, but he's nice and consistent. He travelled beautifully last time out. He actually moved up like he was going to win in his last run when he ran 3rd over 1,200 metres up the straight at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. He'll be there and thereabouts, and if you don't mind, one more for the punters to watch at a decent price is Waloya Yamoni. I think that's how we say it, Dees. He's a lovely individual. He caught my eye in the parade ring last time. He's been off the track for 62 days. You're going to see a big run this time round. I'm not sure he's ready to win, but he should be a lot closer than where he was first time out.
Okay, that is some valuable information from Mr. Bailey there with number 10, Pump It Up. Justin Snaith, confident it'll take a smart horse to beat him. And for me, those type of comments are good enough to possibly take a chance in leg 1 of the bipods and bank up. Race 3, start of the place accumulator, 1,200 meters, where number 1 is a scratching. That's at 9-2 at the time of recording, so there would have been adjustments here, but I'll just read out the betting to you prior to the adjustments of the 9-2 scratching. Number 5, Vixen War, 9-2. There is money here for Pitt Staines runner from 33-1 into 16-1. That's horse number 6. Debuting as a 4-year-old is number 7, Southampton, JP van der Merwe, for Justin Snaith. Number 9, One Dance is at 6-1. And some outside money here, Brandon, for number 11, Nikki's Law, from 16-1 into 12-1. And then are we heading to one horse for the PA? Number 12, Gimme What I Want, Snaith and Yerny. And that is trading at even money. Is this a banker on what you saw first up? I know that the horse was unfancied, the daughter of Gimme the Green Light, if you're going to judge her on her odds, 33-1. But the fact is, she ran a good race first up, an encouraging performance. And this looks like the right type of field that Justin has found for her, barring the two first-timers, number 6 and 7. I think that for the place accumulator, surely she can be good enough.
Absolutely, Dees. I think whatever beats her basically goes on to win and win well. She looks to be one of the standout bets on the card. Again, listening to Justin Snaith's valuable information, he said that this is one of his better ones, and he was of the opinion that she would take a power of beating. She's made tremendous improvement back at home. She ran on beautifully first time out. It was a lovely run, I thought. She was also very green, Dees, and there was lots of meat left on the bone on that occasion. So 12, Gimme What I Want. I'm not sure what the game plan is going to be from that draw, but we'll leave that to Justin and to Muzi. But she does look to have far too many guns for this field. I'll be very surprised if she does get beat in a field like this, D. So I'm all in number 12, Gimme What I Want. Healthy respect for number 11. You did mention there's been some support for Nikki's Law, and when there's money for Greg Enion horses, automatically our ears need to prick. But I really am battling to find anything to beat number 12, Gimme What I Want. I'm going to go with her in a big way when it comes to the first leg of the PADs.
Confidence from Brandon. That is what we like. Race number 3, number 12, Gimme What I Want, a banker in the PA. And I must just compliment this partnership towards the latter part of last season of Yerny and Snaith, especially when Muzi traveled down to the Western Cape. It's not easy traveling around the country, but Muzi, we know he's done it for many, many seasons. And for him to have picked up all those rides for Justin over the last few months before the end of the season and have the success that he had, I think tremendous. Race number 4, 1200 meters, maiden plate, the start of the big one, the pick 6. You need to get on the tote at 13:55. What is happening here? Well, we'll bring up the field and we'll let you know with regards to betting. Number 6, Queen Regent, 5-2. Horse number 8 is trading at 7-1. Then we have number 11 at 8-1. A 14-10 shot here, Brandon, in number 12, South of France. And then it is double figures, the balance. Decision time here in the leg 1 of the pick 6. Well, we can bring that rule into play when it comes to first timers regarding numbers 2 and 7. So that brings us down to a field of 10 runners. Are we playing against the grain? When I say against the grain, Brandon, trying to beat horses 6 and 12, or will those be the only 2 horses that matter in the pick 6?
For me, absolute 2-horse race, Dees. I think 6 Queen Regent, as well as the favourite South of France, they do easily bring in the best form into the race. Obviously, we'll get to know what that form line's doing in the penultimate, race number 3. If Gimme What I Want comes out to win, I can see some late spec coming for the 6-horse Queen Regent, who happened to run second in that same race. I think it was a 1-2-3-4 on that occasion for Justin Snaith on the 10th of July, where Wishless came out to win. But she travelled well, Dees. You can't fault the way that she's coming into the race in terms of her form. She looks to be getting better and better with each and every run. She was just beaten by a better horse last time out. I know that Justin rates that winner quite highly. But I think she'll go very close, number 6, Queen Regent, and we know that she goes through sticky conditions, no problem. And then South of France, I'm not sure where they are in terms of preparation. She's been off the track for 92 days. But there was some small talk around first time out when she ran 4th that she's above average, this 3-year-old filly. She ran a decent race over 1,000 meters. They then stepped her up in trip. There was lots of money around where she ran 3rd to Lowfeld Lily. She only got going when the race was done, Dees. She jumped on that occasion, I think, in the region of 14-10. Lowveld Lily came out to win from the Justin Snaith yard. But like I say, she only learned her trade very late. So I think the small break is going to do her wonders. Just give her a bit of time to mature. If they've been able to squeeze enough work into her, I think she'll be very hard to beat. But for me, in terms of the first leg of the pick six, 6 and 12, more than enough.
Okay, just the two runners that you have to consider for the pick six and in any of the other exotics that you are playing on this Wednesday. Two runners helps minimize the spend in leg one. Well, we've got two apprentice races on the go at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on this Wednesday, and you see this happening more often these days around the country. They're adding on these apprentice races just to give the guys a chance in different racetracks, different racing jurisdictions. And it lends a new dynamic to structuring those exotics as well. I say it lends a new dynamic because it's not pretty straightforward where you're just going to have a look at the form, etc. Because these apprentices, they all claim differently. Number one, some are more experienced than the others. Some are grabbing your attention. So for the exotics, have a look at races 5 and 6 and you make the decision with these youngsters. But Brandon will give us his thoughts here in race number 5. Number one, note to self, Justin Snaith's runner, from 17-10, and that has been backed into 14-10. So anti-post betting support for a horse that was 66-1 first up, and obviously caught these Snaiths napping under the radar, this horse. Number one, note to yourself. So that's at 14-10. Note to self, number one. Then we got number 5, Summer Night City at 11-10. And number 10, Mala Strength, is trading at 28-10. Firstly, Brandon, before we even touch on the race, these youngsters, really nice to see these races put around the country.
Absolutely awesome. Really good to see that we're now getting some of these apprentice races in the Western Cape as well. These, as you rightfully said, it gives them a bit of a chance just to race ride at different tracks around the country. They get to mix it up with some of the best. Where it doesn't matter where they go, whether it be Joburg, you've got the likes of Gavin Larena around you. Recently, obviously, having Piers Stradham in the jockey room. And then now you go to the Western Cape and you've got the likes of Richard Fourie and Grant van Niekerk, some good guys in the jockey room that have been there, done that, and earned their stripes over the years. So good for the guys. And I must say, they can ride some of them. I mean, Mboto is certainly a man that's caught the eye of late. You would have seen him banging home winners left, right and centre around the country. We know that Trent Mayu, he got injured at the wrong time chasing that championship last season. And even further down the page, a youngster like Brevin Flykeys, who just continues to impress in the Western Cape. Every trainer I've spoken to, they highly recommend him to their owners, and he looks to be a kid that we need to follow closely, Brevin Flykeys. He rides number 8, the Night Ferry, over here. So good race, Dees.
Yeah, and talking about these riding arrangements, of course, in Kolisi Butu, who Brandon just mentioned, I don't know when this card was printed, but he only claims 2.5 kgs now. So take note on that on number 2, Miss New York. What are we doing here in leg 1 of the jackpot, which is jackpot 1?
So, Dees, I don't want to sound like a stuck record because many will be thinking, he's going to go for the favourites. But this horse jumped at 66-1 on debut, note to self. Now, if you listen to the presentation team on that occasion, when they were in the parade ring and they moved down to the start, we all looked at each other and said we couldn't believe that it was 66-1. We didn't think he could win it because he's that big individual, lanky type, Vimba Futura. You would never say that. Obviously, the 1,200 meters up the straight would be his game, but he quickened up beautifully. He looked like a horse that needed to go into the black book that I keep referring to. And as you can see, Justin's wasted no time in stepping him up in trip. From a good draw, I think he's way above average. Never easy, Dees. He's just turned 3. We know it's never easy for these youngsters to come out and win a game. He's got a rating of 87. He's got Trent Mayu, who's got the experience. He won't have to do too much from a neat draw. I think if he turns into the home straight and he's just got 2 or 3 lengths to make up, he'll be very hard to beat. He's got a lovely acceleration about him, and he's a lovely individual. So I am going to go with him in a big way. I'm not too concerned that he jumped at 66-1 on debut. Like I say, I just think it's because of his breeding, and when you look at him as in horse flesh, you would never say that he can sprint. So the fact that he could win over a sprint, Dees, just shows you that he's got all the ability in the world. So I am going to go with number 1, Note to Self, to win it, but there are going to be dangers. Number 2, Miss New York. She's a hard hitter. She's a 6-year-old mare. She'll be there and thereabouts from a good draw, and of course she gets the services of Mbuto as well, taking off 2.5 kilograms. And then number 5, Summer Night City, who continues to drop in the ratings and gets the 4 kgs off. You have to think that she could be some sort of a lurker, number 5, Summer Night City. This looks to be the right race. Well placed here by Eric Sands. And then one other horse I just want to touch on, Dees. I know it's a long-winded answer, but number 8, the Night Fairy. This was a dream come true for Herman Brown. We know that he hadn't been training horses for a long time, but that was a masterful ride from Grant van Niekerk last time. He took this horse to the front and he just kept on galloping. If Brevin Plykies can place him, he's got the experience, he knows Kenilworth well. I think the Night Fairy should be good enough to round up those quartets. But I'm going with number 1, Note to Self. This will be a good gauge to see how good he is.
Yeah, I think Brandon's on the mark with regards to this horse, number 1, Note to Self's comments from the stable as well. And the most important thing now, when these horses turn 3, for you, the valued racing fan, is to make your assessment against that of the handicapper, because the handicapper has given him a rating of 87. And if you don't know, this time of the year, over 1,600 meters, the weight for age allowance for 3-year-olds is 9 kgs, because you can do the math and see where he needs to be against these older horses. So that is race number 5. Race number 6, back-to-back apprentice races, a C stakes over 1,000 meters. Number 1, African Memoir at 4-1. 2 is Poetic Princess at 7-2. Number 3 is Casa Estiva at 5-1. Then we got number 4 is Rattlesnake at 6-1. 6 Escarpment at 7-2. Number 7, In a Timely Manner, is at 4-1, and it's double figures, the balance. I think the betting tells a story in the small field, Brandon, because you got 8 runners and they're betting 7-2 the field.
These I really like a horse here. I've been waiting for him to step out. I see a decent price, a backable price, but I'm going in a big way with African Memoir. I've always thought he's way above average. He's got a high cruising speed. He won a very good race last time when he beat Night Rain. We know that Night Rain was heavily backed and he's held in high regard by Vaughan Marshall. But this horse, if you go back to his first start over 1,000 meters, very green. He ran 4th, beaten 3 lengths by 3 Tigers. That looks to be way above average, trained by Michelle Ricks and Harold Crawford. He then came out to run second, and it was difficult for him because it was a big field, and they split up. There was an inside group, there was an outside group. He was lucky in the sense that he had Late December for some company. We know that Late December's come out to win again. He won by a good 5 or 6 lengths. And then he won a good race last time. He got to the front, and he never looked like he was under pressure. I've actually spoken to Corne Orfer about him. I said, what do you think of him in terms of ability? And he said he's a top horse. Off a rating of 79 Ds, there's lots of room for improvement. I can see this horse one day ending up deep into the hundreds. He gets the 4 kgs off. I'm going with African Memoir. He's going to be very hard to beat him. I do have respect for number 6, Escarpment. Brevin Plykies does a lot of work for Pit Boerter at Milnerton. He loves the underfoot conditions being on the softer side. That's why his form of late has now gotten better through the winter in the Western Cape. And he can also run on strongly. So he's not going to be easy to topple over Escarpment. But I just think African Memoir's got so much more improvement to come, Dees.
Well, I've been playing musical chairs in this race, Brandon, and you've been a big help. You've found my seat for the place accumulator and the bar pot, jackpot and pick 6. I may just play a few more, but you've given us the confidence that we need for the PA and the bar pot, at least for race number 6. And if you want to take a chance and go with Brandon with number 1, African Memoir, that will really help minimize the spend in this field of 8 runners, where they're betting 7-2 the field, and he is tipping a horse that's trading at 4-1, number 1, African Memoir. So maybe you can use that in your doubles and trebles with the confidence that was passed on to you for some of the horses earlier on in the card. Race number 7, middle stakes, 1100 meters. Number 1 is Gimme Lightning at 8-1. Number 2, Arctic Wizard, is at 7-2. Then we go on to number 4, the US of A. That's trading at 17-10. 5 is Festival Chick at 8-1. Number 7 is Elusive Winter at 9-2. And 8, Nordic Quest at 11-2. I just want you to give me a comment on a horse here, Brandon, who is in double figures. I know that we've got some really nice horses take their place here. Horses that are quick. Horse that's going for 3 on the bounce, and number 4, the US of A. But there's one horse that's been a bitter disappointment since he was a youngster, and that's number 3, Roman Agent. It's been forever since he's won, but more importantly, he's just lost his way from that youngster that he was. I always just keep an eye on him. I know he had that short stint here in KZN, and now he's back with Vaughan. Shall I say back in the Western Cape. Number 3, Roman Agent. It's just disappointing to see a horse that had so much of potential just lose his way like he has.
He was off a rating of 102 early in his career. I mean, if you go back in his form lines, very well spotted by you, because he was one of the leading juveniles in the Western Cape when we kicked off for our summer. I mean, third beaten 4 lengths by 1 stripe. He's run 5 lengths behind 1 stripe. Second to Lahamba Pambili. Line Ramparts. There's a few form lines that you can just keep dwelling and thinking to yourself, how is it possible that it's taken him so long to win another race? But he's slowly starting to slide in the ratings, Dees. I mean, like I mentioned, he was a 102. He's dropped even further from a 92 to an 89. I thought there was a great comeback run last time when he ran third over 1,000 meters to the US of A. That was just to get rid of the cobwebs, I'd imagine. Vaughan's still learning what he's all about, Roman Agent. He was back, I'm going to say home soil, because we know that's where he started. But let's see, Dees, if he can build on that last run where he ran third to the US of A, now dropping even further in the ratings, you have to think he could be a sneaker.
So, what are we doing in the exotics then in race number 7? The US of A is in tremendous form, but as you win races, you know what happens. Is he still ahead at a 94 in his rating? Paddy Cray is doing an outstanding job with him.
I would think so. I've spoken to Robert Bloomberg many a time about the US of A. We know that this is one of his favorites. You don't want to have favorites when you own good 15, 20 horses, D's, but I know that this horse has crept his way into Robert's heart and into Paddy Crayer's heart. Richard Farid thinks highly of him. I've spoken to Richard a number of times about his ability. We haven't seen the best of him. Even though he is going for 3 on the bounce, you'd say surely the handicapper's starting to catch up with him. I'm of the opinion not yet, Dees. He could still win a good 2 or 3 more before the handicapper makes it a little bit more difficult for him in life. He's just got a wonderful temperament, Dees. He's got the looks to match that. He can settle just off them. We know that he's got an electrifying turn of foot. I'm not too worried that there's a lot of speed around him. In fact, that's going to work in his favor, because there's quite a few, as we know, Elusive Winter can go. He'll be sitting just off them, and he'll be cutting through them like a hot knife through butter. So he is going to be my top selection, and I do think he'll win a game. However, there is going to be competition this time. His Arctic Wizard is held in high regard by Greg Enyon. He's a wonderful sprinter. He's coming back from a small break. He won a good race last time out. Again, I don't know where they are in terms of preparation, but I can tell you that they've got some high expectations for number 2, Arctic Wizard. So I'd include him into the play. And then further down the page, a horse that caught my eye. I'm not sure she's ready to win just yet, Dees, but she could be a nice trifecta quartet inclusion. Is number 8, Nordic Quest. She came back from a long break last time out, and she absolutely took off late to run second to Dean Street. She's also run some good races in her career. 2 lengths behind Asia Pambili, up the straight at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. That for me is good enough run to see her competitive in what looks to be a good race. So I'm going to go with the US of A. Lots of respect for number 2, Arctic Wizard. And then if you want to fill your trifectas, quartets, I mean, you've mentioned Roman Agents and then Nordic Quest and inclusion as well.
Okay, that is race number 7. And now we are on the final 2 furlongs, races 8 and 9, 1400 meters, fillies and mares. It's a class 4. Bring up the field. Let's have a look at the betting as a guide. Number 1, Rahaba at 7-1. Then we got horse number 6, Viva La Vida at 33-10, and number 7, Wishless at 5-2. So they're quite tight in the betting, and they're quite tight in the ratings that they've been given. Number 6 given a mark of 83, and number 7 a mark of 87. So we'll monitor that as these two horses progress as 3-year-old fillies. Number 8, Clancy, is at 8-1. And then, we got one more runner in single figures, Brandon. It's going to be number 12, Lady Lookalike. That's trading at 11-2. You know, there is a horse here that I think is at a ridiculous price. I need you to lend your thoughts here, please, Brandon. And that is number 2, Dream Searcher. 12-1. You know, I know the form line is weak, etc., but 12-1 looks attractive to me as an each-way play. Number 2.
She is undoubtedly, I would say, one of the better ones in terms of the trip. She loves this trip, and Adam Marcus has often reminded me that her best runs are when we put her away for a small bit and we bring her back nice and fresh, and that's when she comes out rocking and rolling. I'd agree with you. She's going to have to take a step forward to beat some of these improving youngsters, but 12-1, you can't get hurt the places, D's. From a good draw, she's going to do no work in the early parts. We know that Craig Bantam knows her exceptionally well. She's a specialist over this 1,400-meter trip, as I've mentioned. So I can see where you're angling at. More for the places. I'm not sure I can have her in terms of winning. I'm happy to get egg on my face, D's, but I'm rowing in, and I'm rowing in a big way with number 7, Wishlist. Muzieni for Justin Snaith. I said when she runs again, I called her last race. She caught my eye a long way from home. I know that the yard think a lot of her, and I just think of a rating of 87. You're going to see what she's all about come tomorrow. I just hope that they've been able to get enough work into her. I know that everybody's on the same playing field. There's been a stop-start preparation in terms of the weather, but she's smart, D's. Take it from me, she's way above average. She'll love the step up in trip. If Muzieni can get her into a striking position turning for home, I can't see her getting beat. You know, I'm a man that wears my heart on my sleeve, D's, and I like number 7, Wishlist, in a big way when it comes to Wednesday racing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. The danger will be number 6, Viva La Vida, Sean Veal for Vaughan Marshall with only 53 on her back. She ran last time like she was showing she wanted more ground. There were panic stations going through the 400 last time because she was at restrictive odds, and Gavin Larena had to get after her a long way from home. She quickened up beautifully. She showed the signs that she's got ability and that she wants to step up in trip. So with no weight on her back, I can see her raising a big gallop over here when it comes to race number 8. But D's, from my side, I'm going in or out. You know that I'm happy to take egg on my face, but I think we'll see a lot of this filly through the summer season, and that's number 7, Wishlist.
Brandon has picked up a few cherries along the way on this race card, which has grabbed our attention. And I say our, because whilst you're listening in, I'm also listening in. And he's grabbed my attention in a big way. Race 8, number 7, Wishlist, trading at 5-2. And after those comments, well, I don't think that is going to last. 5-2, number 7, Wishlist, who Brandon mentions, very impressive and maybe ahead of the handicapper, as giving the filly a rating of 87. How do we close things off? Well, it's race number 9. It's an open maiden over 1,400 meters, and we bring up the field. Let's have a look at some betting. Brandon, it's a big one here because I just went through the SA Horse Racing site that gives us the updates with regards to scratchings, betting, declarations, etc. Not betting, declarations, etc. And in race number 9, important scratching has come through of horse number 7, Chance Encounter, and we did chat about that before you came on air as well. So I'm just going to give you a betting, which is an updated betting. I've got my device open here. Number 3, Gallop Forge, is at 5-1. We mentioned the 9-10 short is now out. Number 8, Magnus the Good, is now at 5-1. Then we got, let's read it from the top with all the adjustments. Number 3, Gallop Forge, 28-10. Number 4 is at 6-1. 5 is at 8-1. Horse number 8, Magnus the Gold, at 5-1. 28-10 now. The top one will be, joint favorite with number 3. Number 9, Future Free. And then it is 12-1 and Better the Balance. I don't know, prior to the scratching, what your thoughts were, whether it is a big change for you, a relook, a restructure with number 7, Chance Encounter out, or, you were actually glad to see this out because, you possibly like something with value.
It's a pity that number 7's gone, Dees, because I was interested to see how this very well regarded and related individual would go stepping up in trip, because I know for a number of times they thought he would be out the maidens already, Chance Encounter, but he'll have to come back another day. That just gives me a little bit more confidence now with number 9, Future Free. If you can, go back to his last run. I called the race on the 15th of July, and he was terribly unlucky, Dees, in running. It got very tight on the inside fence. Muzieni was hunting for the gaps to open, and every time it looked like there might just be a gap, the door shut in his face. Justin has often made mention that this horse is looking for a bit more ground. He's also very well related to his Future Free. He's got a tricky draw. Muzieni would have learnt a lot about him last time out. If he can turn into this home straight in a striking position, I think he'll be very hard to beat number 9, Future Free. I'm of the opinion that he'll turn the form around with number 3, Gallop Forge, on that trickiest run. I know that Gallop Forge has got the draw, whereas Future Free hasn't got the draw, but Muzieni is a tactical rider. He would have learnt a lot last time, and I think he'll try and get this horse into a striking position, turning for home. So I'm going to go with him to close up racing. You have to have huge respect for number 3, Gallop Forge, and then a complete nutter. I've got one for the punters for the places, Dees. He was originally 33-1. We know that the market has been adjusted because of the important scratching of number 7, Chance Encounter. But number 6, Yaneman Vatkan. I've been waiting for him to be gelded. He was gelded on the 25th of June. He ran a fair race last time out. JC Boertes has been booked to ride. He takes off 4 kilograms. He could be a nice sneaker for the places at a decent price. Please include him into the trifectas and quartets.
Like the thinking there. Yaneman Vatkan, number 6, at 16-1 after the adjustment, is Brandon's sneaker, outsider, roughie, to include in all your bets. So that is it, Brandon. It's been a great introduction to you for our preview shows. And, again, I'd just like to welcome you on behalf of Gallop TV to the team. And hopefully it turns out to be one of those flying starts that we have at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Wednesday. You've given us some wonderful information and your thought process, and you like a few runners. So if things go to plan, it could be a dream start.
Shame, Dees. Thank you very much to you and your wonderful team for the opportunity. Like I mentioned, we had to try and find winners. Yes, we can be overly confident sometimes out, but that's just the way we are. If we like something, we've got to give them the all clear, Dees. Justin Snaith, for me, it's if he goes missing tomorrow, then we're going to have lots of egg on our face. But I've got a funny feeling that he will come out firing on all cylinders. It sounds like they've been able to do enough work with these horses. He's got some exciting horses that we can follow leading up into the Cape summer season. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you a few times in Cape Town as well, Dees.
Okay, Brandon. Yep, surely, maybe for the feature races as well. And don't worry about egg on face. It's a job that we do on a daily basis. And you're going to get it right sometimes. You're going to get it wrong more often than not. But when you get it right, that is what it's all about. And hopefully things fall into place on Wednesday. Brandon, where will you be tomorrow? In the commentary box downstairs? Are you working?
So there could be a mix, there could be a change. I know Ali's under the weather at the moment. He's scheduled to call. I'll be presenting, but there could be a late minute change. Obviously, we wish Ali all the best and hope that he gets back to full health. But yes, this doesn't matter where we are. Even if it's in the stands, we love the game. We'll be watching closely. We'll be having a few nibbles. And let's hope that it's a profitable day for everybody. Again, a big thank you to you and your entire team.
Thanks to Brandon Bailey as we bid him farewell, and to you, the valued racing fan, have a blast, find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be one of those days that will be a profitable one for you at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Wednesday the 13th of August. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashte.